Hi everyone, we're the Stonyfield team, and as I'm sure many of you know, Stonyfield Organic, founded in 1983, is a prominent yogurt maker and dairy company based in Londonderry, New Hampshire. They continue to work to better our world through business practices and their B Corp status, and it was a privilege for us to be able to work with them. Next slide, please. To get things started, we worked with Lisa Drake, who is the Director of Sustainability Innovation at Stonyfield. I'm Elizabeth Kane. I'm the peer mentor for this group, and I am a senior pursuing a BS in environmental conservation and sustainability with a business administration minor.
I'm Eric Barry. I'm a junior in marketing and sustainability dual major.
I'm Kate Cohn, and I'm also a junior marketing and sustainability dual major.
And I'm Brianna Kelly, and I'm a senior community and environmental planning major.
Our work throughout the semester focused primarily on these areas, which we established through our consulting agreement based off of what Stonyfield was interested in and our conversations with our client, Lisa. The first area was continuous improvement for recertification based off of the previous score Stonyfield received, as they are an existing B Corp, with a focus in the environment and community sections. The second area was contributing to assessment completion, where we collaborated with our client to identify the necessary information for some unanswered questions and ensure that the existing content in the assessment was accurate. The few remaining unanswered questions are contingent upon an annual report for the full fiscal year of 2020, which is not available yet in early December. The third area was gathering information on where Stonyfield stands for pursuing a Best for the World distinction in the environment and workers sections. The Best for the World distinction is given to the top 10% of B Corps that have the highest scores in each respective section. Next slide, please.
And some of the successes from the semester were that we were able to find previously unanswered questions, and we were able to unlock additional points with departments with the help of Lisa at Stonyfield to help find the missing answers. And we were also then able to unlock more questions by going back through and answering some differently. And another success is Stonyfield's overall current score, which is 100.5 as compared to their previous score in 2018, which was 91.8. Next slide, please. And as for some of the challenges, one challenge as far as for us was the narrow point margins that were available for some questions, basically meaning that there were fewer opportunities for us to provide recommendations for improvements in certain areas. Additionally, with Stonyfield's already really high performance, they had earned the maximum amount of points available on many questions. So it was hard to find areas for continuous improvement compared to from the last assessment that they had in 2018. Next slide.
So moving into the recommendations we've gathered, Stonyfield has already scored points for tracking their waste, water, and emissions, but in order to build on previous achievements, there's opportunity for growth by having a more detailed and frequent approach to tracking and recording these metrics. So Stonyfield will be able to set more specific feasible targets, resulting in more points gained. Another opportunity for improvement is implementing the usage of renewable energy in their operations, which would build on their already existing commitment to having energy conserving practices in place, just making strides towards larger impacts in this area for them. Next, moving towards looking at the Best for the World potential, Stonyfield currently has an environment score of 42.2, and the average 2019 Best for the World environment score within manufacturing is 46. So we feel confident in Stonyfield's ability to score within the threshold to put them in this category. And because of this, we recommend continuing to focus on this section to increase their chances in earning this amazing distinction. And we also analyzed the Best for the World for workers, but due to the lack of comparators within this category, we feel most confident in Stonyfield's potential with their environment score. Next slide.
So continuing recommendations, a significant area for improvement we found was in Stonyfield's supply chain engagement and impact improvement. And when I say engagement in the supply chain, I specifically mean engagement on goal setting for environmental performance, not engagement in general. So a large factor in becoming a B Corp is not only improving your own impact, but to influence and set an example for those around you to do better, including those you do business with. And a way Stonyfield is approaching supply chain engagement is through annual supplier reviews. And along with improving engagement, it is important for Stonyfield to help their own supply chain improve their own impact. And our current theme for how to accomplish that in the BIA was setting target reductions, providing support, and providing incentives for improvement within the supply chain. These topics were prevalent in both the environment and community sections. So not only would they be sparking change along their supply chain, but they would be earning a lot of points for it. And those would definitely be listed as more long-term goals. As far as short-term goals go, Stonyfield can extend their environmentally preferable purchasing policy to cover a wider array of purchases. Also, they can strengthen their supplier code of conduct, which coincides with improving supplier engagement and tracking and goal setting. Next slide. In summary, Stonyfield's making great strides and is setting a great example, especially for large-scale businesses. And I think I can speak for the team when I say working with Lisa has definitely been a pleasure this semester. We've all learned a lot, especially when it comes to large-scale businesses and improving impact. And thank you all for listening to our presentation. We'll now open up to any questions.
Thank you so much. That's so exciting to hear. And I love that you did the best for the world analysis. So thank you so much, Stonyfield team. Lisa, I'd love to hand it over to you to just share a few words.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, team, Elizabeth, Eric, Kate, Brianna. It has been a pleasure to work with you all over the course of this semester, and really did help accelerate our efforts. We have an internal team kind of working on this simultaneously because this is very timely in that we're preparing for recertification in February. So it really kept us moving forward and helping us dig a little deeper. I think the team really left no stones left unturned there through digging through all the questions and all the sections, and really has driven to some key recommendations around, I think particularly around supply chain. The supply chain is fairly complex, and we are closest to our dairy farmers, but there's a lot more than that. There's our contract manufacturers and packaging makers and other ingredient suppliers. And I think we can do more to inspire movement within that whole supply chain. So I appreciate that, and also appreciate you really digging into the best for the world analysis. It's exciting to be on the cusp of that potentially too. So it's helpful information.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. So we've got Michelle Veazey. So wonderful question here. So wondering how having students approaching this with a new lens has added to your process, Lisa.
That is a good question. I think, some of the value really was that they did find some things that we didn't even quite know were there as opportunities of questions to answer. And some of that may be because the assessment also has changed since the last time. But, it is about the fresh look and the fresh set of eyes, if you will, of looking at the questions from some different perspectives that has been helpful.
I also see a question from Sue Kaplan. Sue, would you like to just ask your question directly? She's maybe on mute. So I'll just read it for her. Sue Kaplan's question is, since B Corps are required to improve—
Fiona?
Yes, you're here.
Yeah, there we go. And my fingers were failing me, so the question would have been hard to ask. Since the requirement is to continually improve for B Corps, I'm wondering if there are challenges in not being able to find other ways to improve your score.
Yeah, my perspective is this is a challenge. I've heard this from other B Corps as well. And I think where we started the semester, we were below 80. And some of that was because some were new questions, we hadn't answered them, but even getting through all the questions initially, we weren't below 80. So we did have to do some work to, as I said, dig a little deeper, and that's partly what the team was helpful with. But, you know, I also think this speaks to some of the value of this assessment, that it can be really onerous to get through this and to answer all these very detailed questions in many, many aspects of your business. But there's also this value that it shows you where you have room to improve. And over time, you can use it as a bit of a roadmap. And, you know, for example, I know in part of the reason we have continued to improve our worker score is because our human resources team often comes to me and say, hey, remind me, what does B Corp criteria really, how does it relate to this kind of policy? And so they do use it as a guidance to say, you know, what is the best practice in many given areas. And so I think that's, you know, and so not just to get certified, but to stay on this journey of continuous improvement that we all want to be better companies as we grow and change. It can be helpful in that way.